a question that I ask our audience as well. There is a poll going on this live. I ask people, is Israel Yemenizing the Middle East, in your opinion? When I'm talking about Yemenizing, I'm talking the way that Israel is bombing Yemen and the way that Yemen is responding to Israel. There is no other option for Yemen but fighting back. Your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, in a way, the Zionists are most emboldened right now because they're getting away with genocide in Gaza, and they're getting away with mass occupation of Syrian land and mass ethnic cleansing of the Syrians that live in the lands that they've just now occupied. I think it's almost 350,000 people that have been expelled from the areas that Israel just occupied in South Syria. It still kills every day in Lebanon. In fact, today is the anniversary of the terrorist pager attack, where almost 300,000, almost 3,000 people were injured. There was, of course, luckily, 30 something, 38 people were killed only in that mass terrorist attack. So clearly the Zionists are emboldened and they think that they can hit anywhere in the world and kill any civilians and or anyone they wish anywhere on the planet, and that the West will bend backwards to accommodate it. Yes, the only way to defend yourself against the Zionists is to fight back. If in any shape or form you look weak, they will be attacking. And these are monsters, and they have internationalized the law of the jungle. Now is the international law. The law of the jungle is international law, meaning, or survival of the strongest. So yes, in a way, Yemen, Palestine, Gaza, Lebanon, Syria is the model now that the Zionists have implemented globally, and the only response to them is that of Yemen, for sure, of the Palestinian resistance, of the Lebanese resistance. That's the only way to deal with them, the same way Iran dealt with the Zionist column.
After the attack on Doha, Donald Trump called the Emir of Qatar and said that there would be no more attacks on their soil. And hours later, Netanyahu came out and said, and we're going to do it again and again until we get the target. Doesn't matter where they are and in which country they are, we're going to attack them. How, when I ask about Yemen, I think the situation in other countries is not that much different. I would, if I were to believe one of these two, Donald Trump or Netanyahu, I would believe Netanyahu, because Donald Trump is changing each and every day, each and every minute, he's changing his rhetoric. And we know he was negotiating with Iran and attacked Iran. He was negotiating with Hamas and they attacked the negotiations room. People need to know that. How, what's going on in your opinion when you see the summit in Qatar? You see Iran and Syria going to that summit. I have never thought that these two countries going to go to the same event. It was far from my sort of thinking. But what is going on in the Middle East that would bring these two together, at least to sit on a table and to talk about an issue that is important for all of them?
Yeah, on the point of Trump and Netanyahu, their speeches there, it's clear that Netanyahu has been telling us since the beginning of this genocide what he wants to do, and he's open about it. So he told us he's going to try to destroy Hamas, and he's doing it. He said he's gonna occupy Gaza, and he's doing it. Doesn't mean he's gonna succeed. He says he's going to attack all the axis of resistance and attack Hamas anywhere, kill them anywhere, and he's doing it. And he says he's working towards a greater Israel, and he's doing it. So Netanyahu is very truthful since October 7th. He's so blunt about what he wants to do, and he is delivering on it. He's not hiding anything. The problem is that the media in the West is hiding what he's saying, or trying to say, "Oh, it's just stop." No. Everything that Netanyahu said he wants to do, he is doing. On the other hand, Trump is just playing media all the time, and much of his public appearances, there's careful insertion of buzzwords that create a distraction from the reality. So it's a different kind of a political actor. Obviously, Netanyahu, for decades before October 7th, was a big liar and would be two-faced, just like Trump was and is. But Netanyahu is very clear about what he wants to do. He's openly saying he's going to genocide the Palestinians. There will be no Palestinian state. He's, ethnically cleansing the West Bank right now, and as we see, killing people all around the world as he wishes. Now, about this summit in Qatar that brought together the Arab League and the Islamic Nations Organization. I mean, I think Iran was hoping that maybe the attack on Qatar will awaken the leadership in these countries somehow, and that's because Iran is diplomatic. It's also thinks in a pragmatic way. In my opinion, obviously, and I think I'm correct in this assessment, given that the only thing that came out of this summit is regular condemnations of the Zionist colony that have been repeated for decades. So clearly there will be no action from either Qatar or the other Gulf states. When we compare that to how the Arab League, launched a war in support of the Saudis against Yemen just a few years ago, that included the joining of the Jordanian, Moroccan, Emirati, Egyptian Air Force to attack Yemen. Now we see none of these states offering this. And there's clear statements even from the Emirates that they will be not joining any violent action against the Zionists for the attack on Qatar. So I think Iran wanted to be there, not because of what the outcome would be and or how it looks like sitting on the same table with the HTS regime in Syria, but to speak to the wider Arabic and Muslim public that we're watching this moment, and we're hoping that somehow there's Arab unity or Muslim unity. And Iran didn't want to look like it's the one that's standing outside ruining the party. It arrived. The representatives of Iran spoke in very strong terms, offered support militarily to any state in the region, including weapons to Qatar if it wants to. And that was the main reason I think Iran was there. Obviously, the Qataris are not going to take any Iranian military aid. They're occupied by the Americans. And they will continue just talking. So, I wouldn't take the image of the HTS regime and Iran together on the same in the same room as significant. But behind the scenes, obviously, Iran is dealing with the realities in Syria. It's trying to minimize the damage that HTS could do If it's in full conflict with the axis of resistance, the damage that it could do to Lebanon, the damage that it could do to Iraq. And therefore, Iran is very careful not to, fully antagonize the HTS regime in Syria because of how that could destabilize other countries in the region.
Laith, what we know about the Middle East is the position of Yemen together with Iran, Lebanon, I'm talking about Hezbollah, and the axis of resistance. You look at the way it was before that, the, some sort of conflict between Yemen and Saudi Arabia. The United States was on the part of Saudi Arabia and helping Saudi Arabia to bomb Yemen and fight in Yemen. That doesn't exist anymore. They're getting closer. What is happening in the Middle East, after all, when you look at the curve, it's getting, their position is getting closer to the position of Yemen and Iran. Yemen and Iran are not moving toward their position. They're getting closer to the other side. And don't you think that's a huge change in the Middle East?
Look, the world is changing, okay? Definitely the United States power is collapsing. It's becoming more violent, but its ability to control international events is waning. The Zionist colony hasn't won any war. It killed a lot of people, a lot of innocent civilians, and is continuing to do so in Palestine, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Iraq, Iran, Yemen, and Qatar, of course. But it will take a lot more for these regimes that have been in a symbiotic existence with the British and then American imperial power since their manufacturing by the British. Maybe they will have to see America leaving the region before they flip. These are regimes that haven't, honestly, the attack on Qatar is the first attack on any Gulf monarch by the Zionists since the beginning of the Zionist project in the 1880s.
Exactly.
Okay? I mean, almost every other Arabic state, including Algeria and Tunis and Sudan, were attacked by the Zionist colony throughout the decades. Okay? It's not, the only countries that were not attacked by the Zionist colony up until now were the Gulf monarchs and Morocco. Those the Arabic states we're talking about. So this is, yes, it's a first of a kind, but it will take a lot more to change the behavior of these states. And it may be that it's too late by that point. When the American presence in the region wanes and the United States, withdraws its troops, the delayed Arabic revolts in these monarchies that have been delayed for 80 years will be triggered naturally. Those states cannot exist in the form they are without the constant military intervention and intelligence security intervention of the West to maintain these monarchies in place. So I know most of the world wishes that there is progress on this file, that there's changes, that somehow these elites will wake up to their own, the betterment of their own societies. But I mean, I personally can't expect these elites to change when we don't even see change like this in Western societies, where supposedly there's democracy and so on, and the majority of the populace wants an end to the genocide. And the elites there are harming themselves in the UK, in Canada, in France, in Germany. They're harming themselves. They're harming their trade with the rest of the world. They're harming their reputation. They're harming their cultural industries, their food, everything. Okay, everybody's now sick and tired, not only of Israel but the whole West. And those elite are willing to harm their own nations in Europe than to cut relations with the Zionist colony or end the support, military support to it. So I cannot expect the Arab vassals, the Arabic vassals, to act more rational than the European vassals.